Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Danish. I'm a licensed immigration advisor here at RBS. Today with me we have Sun Lim, who is also a licensed immigration advisor with 10 years plus experience in the immigration sector, and he is also the director of RBS Immigration as well. Next slide, please. Today's PowerPoint presentation is mainly about study to residency pathway. The presentation will give you some insights as to how the New Zealand the education system works, along with what is possible after you decide to study in New Zealand, and then obviously leading to possible pathways to residency. We will give you a rundown through what pathways are there, such as the SMC skilled migrant category, along with the green list and potential changes that will be coming up in August with the SMC pathway, along with other things. So the first question is, why come to New Zealand? A lot of people have obviously seen YouTube videos about New Zealand. There is a diverse range of study options in New Zealand. A lot of the universities and colleges or polytechs are ranked amongst the top 3 globally. So what that means for you is that you get a very experienced educational system. Along with that, as while you're studying in New Zealand, you have the option of working. You also have the option of bringing your partners, depending on what type of program you study. Along with that, your dependent children as well. Apart from that, the other thing is that New Zealand is a very safe country. Okay, it's ranked as the 3rd safest country in the world. Very minimal crime here. No poisonous snakes or anything like that, where you will find that in Australia. And then obviously the stunning landscapes with world-class adventures like bungee jumping, if you guys are into that, skiing, surfing, and hiking. Obviously, being New Zealand, it's a very nature orientated country. So if you're into that, then that's a good option for you as well. Next slide, please. So New Zealand's education system is based on a level-based system. The education system starts at level 1, works its way up to level 10. A lot of the level 1 to 4 certificates or diplomas are given in high school. 5 to 7, where you can obviously, if you're studying a level 5 to 7 program, then those are considered diplomas as well as certificates, which are generally offered from polytechs or other colleges, private institution colleges. And then obviously, if you're planning to study a level 7 program to a level 10, then generally in those categories, the universities provide those types of programs that are catered from level 7 to level 10. Level 7 including a bachelor's degree, anything that is postgraduate, that includes certificate, postgrad diplomas. Level 9 being a master's degree, and then a doctoral degree being a level 10. Obviously, in order for you to study in New Zealand, there are certain requirements that you need to meet. One of the admission requirements is an English language test, or generally known as IELTS. As you can see on the screen here, this gives you a breakdown of the IELTS that are required. Please keep in mind that it's important to note that these IELTS bands, they vary from university to university. They vary from subject to subject. So not necessarily all subjects may be generalized in this particular slide that I'm showing you. It may be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but this is just the generalized understanding of what's required. So for example, if you're studying a level 4 program, you would require a IELTS 5.5 with no bands less than 5. Diploma, anywhere between level 5 to 7, 1 to 2 year program, it requires 5.5 to level 5.5 bands to 6 bands. A bachelor's degree, which is considered a 3-year degree in New Zealand, requires an IELTS 6. And then as you work your way up to masters and any postgrad or masters as well as PhD, the bands increased by 0.5. So, how do you get admission into New Zealand? Well, the first thing is just contact us. The provided slide is a bit complex, but it's a very simple process. So if you are interested in studying in New Zealand, then you get in touch with us. We'll sit down with you. We'll understand your profile. We take a look at what you have studied, what work experience you have, and then based on your profile, we will give you some suggestions in terms of what programs will be ideal based on your profile, and then obviously your interests as well. We take that into consideration. Once all of this is done, our admissions team will submit an application to a university or college, and then once we get a reply from the college saying that you have been accepted, then we start the visa process. And in relation to the visa process, there are a few things that students are required to do. So I think if you can go on the next slide soon, it will give a good understanding. So some key requirements when it comes to student visa for New Zealand is, first of all, you must have an offer, okay? The other thing along with the offer that you have to meet is the living cost requirements, which means that you should have sufficient funds. Every year, each year that you stay in New Zealand, the requirement is a minimum of $20,000 living cost. If people do not have that, if students do not generally have that, then they do take financial undertaking from their parents. It's a support from their parents, grandparents, in-laws, and sometimes a lot of our students also draw out educational loans, which can support that living cost, as well as paying the tuition fee, right? The tuition fee here is an average of $25,000, but that obviously varies depending on what type of program you're wanting to do, what type of university you decide to go to, whether it's a private institution, or whether it's a public institution. So all of these things factor into that. A very important thing that you need to demonstrate when you're coming to study in New Zealand is that you have ties to your home country. These are important, and this is considered being a bona fide applicant or bona fide student. The reason why immigration wants you to show ties to your home country is because obviously they don't want anyone overstaying or breaching the conditions of their visa. Along with that, you have to be in good health. Make sure that your health is acceptable standard of health. Along with that, you have to make sure that you meet the character requirements, so there's no criminal history or anything like that. And then obviously your IELTS language requirements. So if you have been given an admission, then obviously you would have that. So you would attach that IELTS certificate in support of your application. For those that do have, family members or friends in New Zealand that are permanent residents or citizens of New Zealand, then they too can support you to come and study in New Zealand. But just keep in mind that in order for them to support you, they must be a New Zealand citizen or a permanent resident of New Zealand. Okay, so these are just some key requirements that's required. And obviously, as you engage us, we will give you more information on this. So yeah, next slide, please, Sun. Okay, as I mentioned, one key benefit of studying in New Zealand is a post-study work visa option. And then if you study in New Zealand, obviously you're granted a post-study work visa, which I'm going to pass on to Sun to elaborate more on, and then give you a breakdown of what's possible based on the level that you study.
Okay, thank you, Danish. And basically, if you, Danish, have gone through the process, one of the key process we are slightly different from other countries is that when you apply for a visa, you don't have to pay the tuition fees. You only pay the tuition fee after you get approval in principle, so that you don't have to end up having to get refund if your visa is not being approved. Okay, so basically, you don't pay the tuition fees. When we get your approval in principle, only then you pay the tuition fees. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the post-study work visa. Most of you will want to know what is your resident pathway. One of the key benefits of coming to study in New Zealand is that we provide you post-study work visa. And the good news is that there's no age limit. Whereas if you are talking about other countries, there are some limits. For example, Australia, if you are 35 years old, there's no post-study work visa for you. But for New Zealand, even up to 65 years old, you are still eligible for post-study work visa, depending on the level of study that you are doing. Okay, so just go through all this. For example, if you do PhD, very likely that it is a 3 years minimum, usually about 3 years. Then you get 3 years post-study work visa. The maximum is 3 years. If you study master, you get 3 years post-study work visa. Postgraduate diploma, 1 year, but you need to study a minimum of 30 weeks. Okay, for bachelor degrees, if you are doing 3 years bachelor degrees in New Zealand, you get 3 years work visa. If you only do 2 years, then you get 2 years post-study work visa. Remember, this post-study work visa, what we are talking about here, they are open work visa. What do we mean by open work visa? Meaning that you can work any job. You can work 1 hour, 2 hour. There's no employer support required. Okay, you can literally just get the post-study work visa and you can apply to any employer and get a job there. Okay, you are not required to be working in a field that's relevant to your study. So that is what we call open work visa. However, if you are doing anything that's level 7 or they are not or lower, and they are mentioned, they are actually the particular qualification is actually mentioned on the green list, okay, then you're also eligible for post-study work visa. The only difference is that if you fall into that category, the post-study work visa is somewhat limited. For example, if you are doing a level 6 constructions, okay, which is a 2-year course, you're eligible for 2 years of work visa, but it is not open work visa. You have to be working in the area of your study, that is a construction, either as a site manager or site foreman. Okay, just be careful of that. There's a distinction between open work visa and non-open work visa. All right. So if you have any questions, put in the Q&A box. We'll answer your question later. All right. So another good news is that come this November, even if you are doing a qualification that is not on the green list, or they're actually between level 5 to level 7, okay, you're eligible for a 6-month graduate work visa. We call it a short-term graduate work visa. So this is for level 5 all the way up to level 7. And the study must be minimum 24 weeks, okay? And it cannot be a language study. It must be a main program. For example, you're studying cookery, you're studying beauty therapy, depend on what sort of courses that you're choosing, but it must be a level 5 to level 7. Okay, this is going to be implemented in November. So similarly, it is an open work visa. So the only difference is that this work visa does not allow you to sponsor partner or dependent visa. Unlike post-study work visa, just now we talked about, the post-study work visa actually allows you to sponsor your spouse or your dependents. Okay, but this one you're not allowed. However, after your 6 months graduate work visa, you have a choice. If you are managed to get long-term permanent work, then you can apply for accredited employer work visa. Alternatively, you can study again, study level 7 or level 8 or level 9, or study any qualification that's higher than the current qualification, and that qualification, the new qualification that after your graduate work visa, the new qualification that you want to study must be a qualification that allow post-study work visa. Okay, so the government is considering trying to help students to ease their way all the way from graduate work visa, another study, and then post-study work visa, so that you have a longer terms in New Zealand. You are eligible to able to find work, able to transition yourself to a residence. Okay, so it is a very, very good program, and we anticipate there'll be a lot of interest. Okay, And besides that, from November, this is not currently being allowed or being extended to graduate diploma. There are many graduate diploma holders, they study, say, graduate diploma in business study, but because it's not a bachelor degree and it's not a postgraduate diploma or master degree, they are not currently eligible for post-study work visa. But in this coming November, they'll be eligible for post-study work visa. There's a catch. You must, when you do a graduate diploma in New Zealand, you must have a bachelor degree. If you don't have the bachelor degree, the graduate diploma will not make you eligible for post-study work visa unless that graduate diploma is on the green list. Okay, so it's quite technical and it's quite confusing sometimes. It's okay, don't worry. Talk to us, give us a call or email us or contact us. We'll guide you and we'll tell you and we'll explain it to you. Okay. So for those that were family, what happened? Okay, if you have a spouse, what happened to them? So if you're coming here to study master degree or any qualification that's mentioned on the green list, your partner can join you. While you study, your partner can actually work. And their work visa is open work visa. Okay, there's no job offer required, there's no employer support required. They only need to have a certain requirement that is that they need to have enough funds, minimum 5,000 for the partners, and then they can join you and work full-time any job while you're studying. Okay, this is a very generous provisions. There's no age limit. Okay, but if they are not on the green list and they are below level 9, then they can only come as a visitor. Okay, and the other good thing about doing level 9 is that if your partners are able to get a partnership visa based on your study at level 9 or above, your children will be eligible to come here and study in New Zealand free. Remember, it's free from year 1 all the way to year 13 for primary and secondary school. Okay, so if your children is up to 19 years old, they can join you while you study your master degree. Your spouse can come, and then your children can come here and study. It's free. Okay, so this is a very generous program by New Zealand immigrations. So we will encourage people to go for level 9 because this will allow your partners to join you and your children to join you. Okay, so if they are below 5, then they have to get a visitor visa. Okay, after that, what happened? What happened if you study, you get a work visa, and you find some job? What happened? So the next step is to gain residence. Okay, New Zealand residence is slightly different from other country. Before I move on, I just want to emphasize that New Zealand is the only country that offer a permanent residence for life. But you must need to get your resident visa first for 2 years. After 2 years, if living and working in New Zealand, you can transition to permanent resident. Our permanent resident is different from Australia, different from UK, different from Canada, different from US. Okay, why? Because our resident visa is actually similar to other country PR. Okay, because there's a limit how long you can stay, and you need to transition to PR or you renew it another 2 years. Okay, so for example, in Australia, when you get a permanent residence, it's only for 5 years. After 5 years, you need to renew another 5 years. If you're not staying long enough, you won't get your next 5 years. Whereas New Zealand, once you have transitioned from resident visa to permanent resident, our permanent resident is for life. Meaning that once you have permanent residence, you can leave New Zealand and come back to New Zealand 10 years, 20 years later, you are still considered a permanent resident of New Zealand. So New Zealand is the only country to give you permanent residence for life. It is similar like a citizenship, except that you will not be able to hold the passport. Okay, so once you study, then we consider resident pathway. So currently, there are 3 pathways: skilled migrant pathway, green list pathway, and then care workforce pathway. Currently, care workforce is almost on a halt now, on a stop pause now, because there are not many people going through this pathway. In the past, yes, a lot. So currently, we have a skilled migrant resident pathway, green list pathway, and I think it will be, and there'll be in August, there'll be 2 more pathway. That is what we call a trade and technician pathway. We will explain that later. Okay. So what are these pathway? Currently, if you are coming here to study, you need to have 6 points. Skilled migrant pathway is what we're looking at is 6 points. When you have 6 points and a job offer, it must be a skilled job offer. It doesn't have to be directly related to your study, so long as you are suitably qualified for that job. Plus 6 points, you're eligible to apply for skilled migrant residence visa. If you are coming here to study master, you get 5 points and you need 1 more year of working. Okay. And if you are doing a postgraduate diploma, you have 4 points, and then you need 1 more year of work, 2 more years of working. Okay. Don't worry about it. Some people are worried, hey, it takes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years in order to gain more points. However, come this August, there'll be changes. There'll be good news because master degree will go, when you come here a master degree, you will get 6 points instead of 5 points, meaning that it is it's as good as you're coming here to do a PhD. Okay, PhD is 6 points. Remember just now we talked about it. Okay, so this is a general idea of skilled migrant residence. You need to have 6 points. You need to have a skill employment, then you can apply. Okay, and then we have green list pathway. Green list pathway, we don't talk about points. There are specific requirements under green list pathway. Tier 1 and Tier 2. So if you fall under Tier 1, immediately you can apply. For example, if you are an auditor, okay, they don't look at the points. You are a chartered accountant, you are or CPA, and you are an external auditor or internal auditor, and you are making a certain wage threshold, immediately you can apply. We are not talking about points. Okay. If you are in Tier 2, you need to work 2 years. Okay, you need to, for example, graduate this ECE teacher. You need to work 2 years in New Zealand. Okay, or if you are engineering technician, okay, you need to work 2 years. Okay, what we call the Tier 2 we also call work to residence. Right. So these are the current policy, but it will change in August. So what are the changes? Okay, come August, the policy is not released yet, but what the government have announced is that this is going to happen. Okay? All right. So if if you got a doctor degree or a master degree in New Zealand, you get 6 points. So you don't have to work 1 year or 2 years. Immediately you can apply, but provided you still must have a skill employment offer. Remember, when you finish your master degree, you get 3 years post-study work visa. Okay. Within this 3 years, the moment you land a job, you don't have to work for 1 year or 2 years. The moment you land a skill employment, you can apply. So this is a new point system. If you are doing a New Zealand bachelor in New Zealand, you get 5 points. Meaning that, what does it mean? That the moment you finish a bachelor degree, you have 5 points. You will have 3 years post-study work visa. During the 3 years, you need to find a skill employment and you need to work for 1 year. Only 1 year. Previously, it was 3 years. Now you only need to work 1 year. Then you're eligible to apply for residence. Remember, you get 5 points plus 1 point of skill work experience. So these changes will be officially released, hopefully before August. Then we can share with you what the exact requirement. Okay, so exciting time for New Zealand. And remember, New Zealand, the age of eligibility for residence is up to 55 years. Unlike Australia, it's only 45. After 45, you will have no points. Okay, but New Zealand is up to the age of 55 years old. Okay, so guys, you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A box. There's a Q&A box now at your screen. Just put your questions and then we can answer your questions later. Okay, now what are the other work visa that's eligible? A lot of people say, for example, if you finish and then you still unable to get a skill employment. Okay, before we talk about accredited employer work visa, what do we mean by skill employment in terms of um, um, meeting the skilled migrant residence requirement? You need to have a skill employment. Basically, skill employment. What skill employment means that you must be working in a job from NSCO level 1 to level 3, and at the same time you must be paid a medium wage. Okay, if you are, that is what we call skill employment. If you have coming August, if you have master degree and you get a skill employment offer, you get 6 points plus skill employment, you can apply for residence. If you graduated with a bachelor, you get 5 points, and then you just need 1 more year of skill work experience, meaning that you must be having a skill employment under NSCO level 1 to level 3, plus being paid a medium wage. The good news is the medium wage, the way we work on the medium wage is that the moment that you enter the job, you get a medium wage, that's it. You are not required to meet the medium wage at the time that when you apply for residence. Okay, so it's quite technical. It's quite we can help you if you have any questions and you're finding a job. Come and talk to us. Okay, so in New Zealand we currently have we change our work visa scheme altogether. We are now calling it accredited employer work visa. First, the employer must be accredited. If your employer is not accredited, you would not be allowed to work for employer that is not accredited unless you're holding an open work visa. Remember just now we talked about open work visa. So this particular visa, the employer must be accredited, and then the job must be approved by immigration. Basically, quite similar to Australia or Canada. You need to go through a labor market test. So they make immigration have assessed that this job you can't find a local to fulfill this particular role, then you can issue this job to an applicant. Then the applicant will apply. So there's 3 steps: accreditation, job check, and then application. All right. So for those that are working at coming here and maybe you get a job to work in a, I don't know, in a what do you call it, as a nail technician, as a beauty therapist, okay, beauticians. So it's considered level 3, but you still need to meet the English language requirement. It's a new rules. If you are coming here for AEWV, accredited employer work visa, you need to meet the skill and the minimum skill requirement or the English requirement. Okay, so it's quite detailed. You have a look, you have a read, and then we can guide you if you have a employer who want to sponsor you this particular job. Okay, I think this is almost to the end of our presentations. We have these are the number of people that are working with us, and we can support you. And we have actually more in the background. We have even in Pakistan, we have in Vietnam, and we have in Australia. And of course, we have our LIA in New Zealand. So we will now go to your Q&A session. Okay, so we are one of the largest RBS Immigrations and RBS Intellect, we are actually associated. Okay, RBS Intellect has all the agreement in New Zealand, all the universities, all the polytechnics, all the private colleges, and even high schools. Okay, we can help you to apply for an offer, and everything is done free of charge. We don't charge anything for applying an offer. Sometimes we encourage students to apply 2 or 3 offers once, then you can decide which one that you want to apply. You can apply to 3 and 4. If you get the offer, then you need to decide which offer you want to do to apply for in order to apply for your visa. Okay, so if you are outside New Zealand, we can even do the visa free. But if you require LIA to help you, then for example, if you have prior refusal in other countries, you have other character or even medical issues, then perhaps you may want to get and a licensed immigration advisor to help you. Other than that, we have another team offshore that can help you to apply for student visa free of charge. Okay, talk to us, and we are also represented in other countries like Australia, Malaysia, and Canada as well. Okay, we have a Canadian RCIC, we have a MARA agent as well. Okay. Okay, now we need to go to the Q&A. Okay, maybe we start answering some of the question here. So we have a Sonam here. Which region outside Auckland currently provides strongest long-term residency due to labor? Okay, this is a very difficult question to answer. Okay, it doesn't matter which region. For example, we have done a lot of residents, and some people tell us that it's actually easiest to get job outside Auckland, even in down to Invercargill. Invercargill is our southernmost little town or little city, Invercargill, with only between 50 to 70,000 populations. But he was able to find a job, and it was a skill job. Okay, so it's not that easy for us to answer. Of course, we encourage you to go outside Auckland because sometimes it will not be that competitive compared to Auckland. Okay, so you are welcome to do your own research. So Shasha Kristan, what about certification? How many years of work visa can I get? Certification is what level? I don't understand your questions. Basically, currently depends on the skill level of the job. For example, if you're asking about accredited employer work visa, if your job is fall onto skill level 1 to level 3, you're likely to get 5 years work visa. Okay, if your job is between 4 and 5, then it's only 3 years. All right. So if you have any jobs offered currently and you want to explore, you want to apply for a visa, then we can help you. I'm a practicing lawyer in Fiji, 3-year post admissions. Okay, basically the easiest way, this I don't know, this anonymous attendee, if you are a lawyer in Fiji, meaning that you have likely to be skilled, and we have lawyers from Malaysia, from Singapore, they come here to do Master of Law. Okay, because remember, once come this August, your master degree will get you 6 points. And sometimes we do need a lot of lawyers. Lawyers are not that difficult to get a jobs, but you need to find a skilled employer. You need to find an employer to sponsor you. Okay, the moment you get a job after your master's degree, then you're eligible to apply for residence straight away. Okay. No, Mustafa Shah. Is it possible master program with MOI in New Zealand? Generally, we don't encourage people to do MOI, but we can try. Only universities, they don't have to follow the NZQA rules, but most private colleges, they require to see your IELTS or Duolingo or PTE. We have other options. Okay, so certain MOI from certain country, I think, for example, Sri Lanka, it can be accepted by some institutions. All right, so you can email us your MOI, then we can explain it to you. 1 year master program budget is 20,000. Okay, master program is easily 25 or 30,000 and above. Okay, there's no 20,000 budget master program. What we meant by 20,000 is your living cost. You need to show you have at least 20,000 living costs besides your tuition fees. All right. Scholarship are possible. Currently, there are many private colleges are actually offering good, very low cost master degree. I think some of it is around 27 to 29,000. Okay, so if you want full scholarship, only New Zealand government would offer full scholarship. That is called Manaki scholarship. That currently is closed. They only open once a year. So different universities, they have own different scholarship by merit, but you have to apply. You have to get enrolled first, then apply. Okay. I'm majoring in English education, but it's RPL. Look, if it's RPL, it depends because each institution or especially universities, when you talk about cross credits or RPL, they will take time to evaluate. Okay, if your IELTS or your qualification is not up to the standard, they may not offer you the program that you want. So send us your CV. Most important, send us your CV. We can evaluate and we can discuss with you how we can or give you other options. For example, people who are not meeting master degree, they can come here and do pre-master. Or if they are not meeting the English for master, they can come here and do EAP, English for academic purpose. Okay, it's around 14 weeks. Okay, and then you don't have to complete your IELTS. You can go to your master program after your EAP. Okay, we can explore with you. Come and talk to us. Email your CV. My partner is in Australia having working holiday visa. He likes to continue to get visa. I can bring me continue to study. I'm an English tutor. Okay, working holiday visa is a totally different visa. Working holidays, you are not allowed to bring partners. Of course, your partner can apply for the working holiday visa. I'm not sure whether Indonesia have a working holiday visa in New Zealand or not. I don't think so, but we need to check. Okay. Hassan Mahmoud, points are confusing. So if I come to study level 9 master, I will get 6 points after graduation or when exactly. So we'll make the eligible person. Okay, remember 6 points, you meets the minimum requirements, but you still need to have a job. Job and 6 points. You must have a skill employment plus 6 points. Okay, then only you can apply for residence. I got offer of master on MOI base. What chances of visa grant without language proficiency? Well, it depends on if it's offered from university. Usually, immigration would not question that because your English requirement has already been assessed of meeting the university's English requirement. Okay, so you can still process. I think we have students who are actually using MOI to gain entry to a particular course, and we are able to get visa for them. Okay, so it's possible. Jimmy Wang Mo, when showing sponsor for financial, is it okay to show sponsor from New Zealand who is currently a student? No. Okay. Yours who is currently in a student visa? No. When we talk about sponsorship, there are two different things: financial undertaking and sponsorship. Sponsorship is when you are already in New Zealand and you have a sponsor in New Zealand to sponsor you, and that sponsor must be a New Zealand resident or citizen. So outside New Zealand, your parents, your family, or your siblings can be your sponsor. Okay, sorry, not the sponsors, can be your financial undertaker or financial guarantor. Okay, or you may want to get a loan. All right. Shasha Krishnan, what about I already have a bachelor degree in human health, but now change to elderly care. So do I need to start a certification or master? Well, it depends. If you want to come here and do a healthcare course, which is a diploma course, usually we start with level 4. There are a lot of level 4 healthcare courses, which is around 6 months, I suppose. The problem with that, you will not be able to get any graduate work visa or post-study work visa. Okay, so if you are able to afford the fees, come here and do a master degree. We have master of management in healthcare. So if that will help, because remember, when you need points, you're not just, okay, the reason you want to come here to study so that you are able to gain residence, that's the end goal. All right. But of course, at the same time, once you finish, you want to be able to work so that you can accumulate either your work experience or points to gain residence. Sometime when you finish your master degree or your study, even though you get post-study work visa, you may not immediately get a skill employment. It may take time. Okay, so these 3 years post-study work visa allows you more time to get into the right skill employment, being paid medium wage, so that you can meet the residence requirement. So this is why study to residence is the best. A lot of people say, can I come and find a job? Yeah, you can come and find a job. If you're lucky, you get a job, unless you're very skilled. But if you are thinking that wanting to get a job immediately and then apply for residence, you must be very, very skilled. You must be paid very well, okay? Remember, you're not here. It will be difficult for employer to know you. The post-study work visa, what happens in many of our students that come here, when they're doing the 2 years post-study work visa, what do they do is that they go into a job, they may not meet the requirements. Then they slowly work their way up. When they perform well, employer likes them, and you talk to the employer, give me a pay rise. Then they will support you all the way to residence. So it will take time, right? Unless you have very skill, the employer immediately give you a skill employment meeting the medium wage. Another anonymous attendee is one is studying master business analytics or master in applied management major. What are the jobs? There are plenty of jobs. Okay, remember, you have 3 years. If you study a master degree, you have 3 years. If within that 3 years, if you can't find a job, there must be something wrong with you, not because of your courses or your study, okay, or your attitude, okay. So a lot of people wasted the 3 years. I have give a lot of talk to students in the private colleges, in school, and I'll tell them, when you have these 3 years post-study work visa, yes, you want to make good living, you want to work as a mean retail, by all means, but most importantly, do some networking, get to know the employer that who are able to offer you a skill employment. For example, you start with 10 hours first, you start with a very low pay first, doesn't matter. Work with the company, slowly work your way up. Yep, they don't give you the type of money that you want in order to make a good living. You can do both two jobs. You can work 10 hours for a good employer and then 40 hours as a night auditor, or a porter in a hotel to make money. Okay, so focus on getting the skill employment is very important. Uttam Chakraborty. I have a completed Master of Science, the ITA, MBA, UK, and returned home. I've been working in Bangladesh since I see. Do I need IELTS or master degree? Depends on where you did your master. If you did your master in UK for at least 1 year, full time, then you may be exempted to do IELTS. Okay. Otherwise, you have to provide IELTS. I want PhD in politics and IR with spouse and need scholarship. Okay, if you want PhD, what we can advise you is that you need to talk to universities, lecturers, or find a supervisor. We can't help you to find a supervisor because you have to provide a research proposal. We don't know your field. We don't know what research proposal and what research proposal the supervisor is looking for. If you manage to find a supervisor who are willing to supervise you, then we can help you to apply for an offer letter, and then can help you to apply for a visa. But you have to find a supervisor first. What are the sponsorship costs for? Employers are not supposed to charge you any money for giving you a job, offering you a job. Okay, it's illegal for employer to charge you for money. All right. I would like to inquire about the field of study and industry sector that currently in high demand. I'm planning to do a master together with my husband. My husband holds master degree, engineering degree from Auckland Universities. If your husband is holding a master degree, I don't know when was it ago. Did he have any post-study work visa before? So if you want, or if it was done many years ago, then you may want to consider coming here to do another master. Depends on your field. I can't tell you which is the most popular and most demand. Some people say that this particular field is demand. Some people say this is not, but it all depends on individual, depends on the skill, depends on whether the skill and qualification that meets the prospective employer's requirement. Okay, so you send us your CV, we evaluate, we discuss with you, and then we give you options. You can send to us at hello@rbs intellect.com or info at rbsimmigration.co.nz. Okay, maybe I'll go to our, this is our what do you call it? Email address. All right. Okay, I get back to the question again. Sorry. Okay. Is there a Master of Public Health? Yes, there's a Master of Public Health, either Master of Health Science, Master of Public Health. Yes, Auckland U, Auckland. There are a few other universities offering that, as well as EIT. Okay. What is the current student visa processing time? It give ample time. It could be sometimes we are able to get it within 6 weeks. Sometimes it's 8 weeks. It depends on the timing. Depends on which intake. Okay. Can we get the slide presentation on email? Yeah, we can do that. Just email us your CV first. Okay. Considering the new rules from August, will NCQA evaluation for a bachelor degree obtained from overseas be required? Yeah, this is a good question because we don't know yet. We don't know what is the new policy looks like, but very likely they may want to look at your what do you call it, whether your bachelor actually meeting our requirement and NCQA requirement. So I would say that very likely that you will need to have NCQA, but we don't know for certain. About taking master degree, is there a minimum grade required? Is there base GW or does this mean I am not? Well, send us your transcript, send us your cert. We can talk to the school. We can negotiate with the institution. Some, they're not just looking at your qualification, they look at your work experience as well. Okay, you're welcome to email, send us your CV and your academic records. Can I come in New Zealand on 1 year postgraduate diploma with 3 years post-study work visa, gaining 45 years? I don't quite understand your questions. Postgraduate diploma only allow you 1 year post-study work visa. If you want to do 3 years, want to have 3 years post-study work visa, do a master degree. Okay. The only difference between postgraduate diploma and master is only half a year. Might as well go all the way to do a master degree. I'm a master degree holder with 15 years experience banking. How much is my chances? Okay, I tell you what, we have clients up to the age of 45, 50, 52. We have clients even up to the age of 55. Okay, but the whole idea of she coming here is not for herself because her spouse is younger than her. So while she is able to come here and complete and still get the post-study work visa, despite that she's already 55, okay, her spouse, which is younger and can actually get the 3 years work visa as well. Remember, when you get your post-study work visa, your spouse and your children you get the respective visa. Okay, so she's using her, depending on her spouse, to actually meeting the points to get residence. Are there occupation currently skills shortage? Currently, we don't look at skills shortage list. If you want to know what occupations are in demand, go to the green list. You can search green list. Green lists are typically that we consider in demand. How long will it take for result or assessment if they will give you an offer or not? It depends. Universities take longer times, and some polytechnics take longer time, and private colleges take like 3 days, the max, 3 days to a week or 2 weeks. Okay, depends on the universities or depends on the school as well. What if from a lawyer in Fiji, I want to pursue counseling, but yeah, you can do whatever courses. Okay, we encourage you to send us your CV, send us your academic records so that we can forward to the school or universities. And if they think that you meet the requirement, they will give you an offer. We will give you a few options. In fact, you can apply for a few offer letter, not just one. Always stand by. and whichever give you the best one or fastest one, you choose those offer. Okay. Good day, sir. Is there a master in supply chain management? Yes, there's a supply chain management, very popular with EIT. Okay. And some other university as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Lincoln University also have something similar. Okay, my de facto partner, yes. We in New Zealand, we recognize what do you call that? Official marriage or de facto partnership relationship. But you need to prove that. You need to be able to prove to immigration that he or she is your de facto partner. Okay. My intentions not for residence, just for study and work. Yeah, why not? You're welcome. A lot of people who come here, especially from Japan, Korea, China, Malaysia, Singapore, they come here to gain qualification, good qualification. Then they go back to their own home country. Okay. I came in many years, 20, 30 years ago. I came here and studied my bachelor degree and went back to Malaysia. After that, working in Malaysia for 10 years, I returned to New Zealand. Okay. I want PhD with scholarship, politics. I think I answered this. Okay. Is supply chain management? Yes, I have understood this. Okay. I think we have finished. We covered all the questions. Do you have any more questions? Otherwise, I think we have done very well. And within how long? Okay, we are good. Our timing is right. We just within 1 year within 1 hour we cover almost every topic, and we cover all your questions. Okay, if you guys have any more questions, you're welcome to email us. Okay, hello@rbsintellect.com or info@rbsimmigration.co.nz. Okay, you're welcome to send us your CV, send us your academic records. Once we have that, we will respond to you. We will provide you options, and you have any specific immigrations questions, I think you can even book a consultation with one of our RIA. All right. So I think there's some more question coming in. Let me have a look. Yes, you can email to info@rbsimmigration.co.nz. Is it possible to get a percentage? Yeah, we can. Just email us first. What is the possibility of getting a PR, studying Master of Professional Accounting? Professional Accounting is very popular, and depends on what strand that you're doing. Some strands actually allow you to get a CPA or CA. Okay, I think Lincoln, Victoria universities, and a few other universities actually offer a very good Master of Professional Accounting. Okay, it's a good options. Email us your CV. Email us your academic record. Okay, well done. Any other questions? Okay, I think in your message box you can see there's book your consultations. It's free for 15 minutes. So just click and book, and then we'll come back to you. If we can't meet the slot that you booked, then we'll tell you. Otherwise, thank you everyone. If you have any more questions, please email us. Otherwise, we will end here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Danish. Thank you, Anushka.
Thank you, soon. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
joining
you.
in.
Thank
You
you.
guys
Bye-bye.
can
Bye-bye.
find the recording in our YouTube channel to know more about it. Thank you. Have a great
Thank you.
day. Bye.
Bye.